We have Yawgmoth versus... I actually didn't see what the opposing deck is here.
Whack.
Oh, we have 8 whack.
Awesome.
Oh, my goodness.
This is going to be a weird one.
This is going to be a fast one.
Yeah, for sure. This is one of those weird points where it feels like traditionally Yawgmoth is not a great deck versus fast aggro decks, specifically because when you get to the combo, your life total is nothing, and that is pretty tough for the Yawgmoth deck, obviously. You don't have a ton of ways to actually gain life efficiently. Usually it's at parity.
Yeah, without having access to Prosperous Innkeeper these days,
Yep.
most lists have been cutting that, so it does seem like it's going to be difficult to keep your life total high.
Yeah.
I suspect we're going to be seeing a lot of chump blocking with Undying creatures
Yes.
in Game 1 here.
Yeah. With the addition of Bowmasters, though, I do think that this dynamic kind of shifts away. It's not like how Burn and Rhinos are with Yawgmoth, where, you just take Bolt, you just take 8 damage, or something like that, and you just kind of have to gun for the combo. In this matchup, you can just sandbag Bowmasters and absolutely trash them. So I am expecting Yawgmoth to be the clear winner, honestly. I would be surprised if we see a victory from 8-Whack, but I don't know. Maybe they just have it, and I am wrong.
Hey, it's tough not to root for the the mono red goblins deck.
Yeah, absolutely.
This also could be a what was it, like Gleeful Demolition or something?
Yeah.
I'm wondering how deep he's going.
The Convoke list, yeah.
Yeah, right.
We'll
right.
have to see.
Looks like both players are on a mulligan here.
Yep.
And we should be getting into it in just a moment. I see a Mishra's Bauble from the Whack deck, so I bet you this is the Artifact aggro version.
If it's a Bauble, it is most likely... Oh, man, I don't want to start guessing, but it's usually a fast Artifact deck, like a Saga version of this.
Oh, there it is. There's the
Gleeful Demolition.
Gleeful Demolition. Yep.
All right, I guess I am surprised.
Yep, Sam immediately going for the Reader there, because who on earth knows what that card does?
I do. I watch Aspiring Spike, my favorite modern streamer.
The modern streamer.
The only
Yep, so we got our 3 1/1s here, and 3 power on turn 1 is definitely above rate for the format these days.
I don't know, man. I guess, yeah, these days.
3 power on 1. On 1.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. We just came off of, like, turn 1 Fury, turn 1 Grief.
Yeah, well, but that's dead content.
Okay, yeah, okay.
All right, Sam down to 19 off
I don't
his
know,
fetch
man.
here.
Grief is still around in the format. Red-Black has been doing incredible recently.
I've been so surprised.
Yeah. I personally am not surprised. I am mostly surprised that it's, like, still tier 1. I'm not surprised that it's still around. I thought that deck would be still, like, a great deck. I thought it was going to be, like, closer to tier 2. But it is still making rounds.
That deck has always been interesting to think about since the ban, at least. Man, I hated it pre-ban, but that's just me as the resident creature combo player.
Yes. All right. It looks like Gonzalo is going all in turn 2.
Are getting in there. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 damage.
Yep.
10 damage coming across on turn 2.
And I don't think we'll be seeing a chump block.
I do not think we'll be seeing a chump block. I suspect we're going to be seeing Sam go to 9 on turn 2 here.
Awesome. But this is a little dicey because Sam is untapping into 3 mana, which is easily Bowmasters plus Undying creature.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the bleeding should stop up in just a moment here.
Yeah. If we see another Bushwhacker, that's going to be GG. I don't really see anything that Sam could be doing here.
Yeah, no kidding.
So we'll just have to see what Gonzalo follows up with. But this is a decent showing for so few cards being played out of the hand.
Land go from Sam.
Yeah. My expectation is just Bowmasters.
I think you're right. I can't imagine anything else. The Yawgmoth deck running 4 Bowmasters right now. That's just going to mop this up so well. I mean, it's going to shoot like the Bushwhacker or something, and then
it looks like
there's another Bushwhacker.
Second Bushwhacker.
Coming across for 12.
Bushwhacker only gives +1/+0, correct?
Correct.
Not +1/+1?
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, so in that case, it's all still being absorbed by the Bowmasters, and
Yep,
it looks
so
like...
it's still going to be Sam taking... Assuming Sam has Bowmasters and nothing else, 4 creatures leave, he should be taking 4 here.
Yeah, I mean, that's still a decent amount. It looks like he's going to be taking an extra 1 from the Nurturing Peatland that he's going to be tapping.
Because I mean, he's got the Ignoble Hierarch, so it depends on how he's lining this up.
100% going to be untapped for the block this turn. Otherwise, you are dead on board, I believe.
Shoot a creature, block, take 4.
Take 4, go to 8. From the tap, take 4, go to 4. Yeah, I guess you can live at, like, 3. But I don't really believe that is a winning line here, personally.
It's definitely tough in a... So he is taking the 1 down to 8.
Correct.
So we're expecting to see just line up some blocks here, trade off with probably the bushwhackers because you want to get rid of the creatures rather than the.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage
Rather
in the
than
game, the way
tokens.
that these decks are built, the creatures versus tokens doesn't really affect anything unless they're artifacts.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter, but I don't know. It's probably just better practice to. Okay, so he is opting to take 6 then.
Right.
Going down to 2, figure you're as dead to a bolt as you are to a goblin grenade, so might as well.
It looks like, yeah, and that's definitely a good point. It looks like he is keeping the Ennoble Hierarch without tapping it for mana?
I think he was considering the block there and just opted against.
Right, makes sense.
But that's why I was saying, like, I was expecting the ignoble to get tapped anyway.
Gotcha.
3 and 2, I think, are basically the same. I don't really think that's a huge difference. I do see another Bowmaster in hand, though.
I disagree. I think 3 and 2 are wildly different because that is dead to 1 creature attack off of a Bushwhacker.
I think if another Bushwhacker comes down, there's no way he's living regardless.
That's not true. He can easily go creature here, and if there's a third Bushwhacker, that is just 1 extra creature that can't be blocked.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And showing the Boseiju off of the bauble.
Yeah,
nothing,
that one is
nothing
not
is going to
helping.
matter there.
It looks like we have 2 Nurturing Peat lands in play. I don't really believe Sam can get out of this one.
So he's got go to 1, play the Bowmasters, and then the board is cleaned up. So he's going to have to win real quickly after. Oh, there's the Goblin Grenade. So
all right, well,
nothing matters and everything sucks.
Awesome. Wow, that was an incredible hand from
Yeah, no
Gonzalo.
kidding. This is the classic Bushwhacker, scenario. Put your opponent dead on turn 3 or turn 4. Sam is going to be cracking the Peatland for posterity, but nothing matters, and he does go ahead and wrap that up.
Searching for days, I see.
Yeah, exactly. So going to sideboards here, what do we expect to see out of the Yawgmoth player?
So I'm actually not sure what the token plan is specifically versus rhinos and stuff like that. Are they on EE these days, or is this a different item that they're bringing in? Like, are we looking at Legion's End?
It's tough to say. I think the most winning lists that I'm seeing right now are off of Crime Punishment and are off of EE.
I have not seen Crime Punishment in a long time.
It's flex over EE. It's all
Yeah, it makes sense.
Um,
If only we had Pernicious Deed.
Yeah, honestly. So I don't think they have a whole lot to mop up tokens these days.
Yep.
I suspect that we're going to see like Scavenging Ooze for some incidental life gain,
Gotcha.
where you do want to be getting rid of those creatures rather than the tokens.
Right.
I'm wondering if we're going to see any artifact disruption. I don't remember. I don't think there's anything relevant other than like. Oh, what's it called? Collector Oof.
That is definitely not a
but
winning line
that's
in this
not the
matchup.
that's
Yeah.
not the play that you want to be making.
And honestly, most of the artifacts in this deck might as well just be Darksteel Relic. You're only really playing them so that you can cast your Gleeful Demolition as early as possible.
Right.
Unfortunately, not really similar to the Red-White Convoke list in Pioneer, where we see stuff like Halo Hopper, the 3/2.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So you're less likely to actually see artifacts attacking in this version, and more likely to see them being destroyed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the only it's probably like somewhere in the realm of 12 artifacts with maybe Ornithopters
Absolutely,
to benefit
Ornithopters.
off of, and the I was gonna say Haywire Mite. What's the one? Memnite.
Memnite, yep.
Right.
Well, we're definitely seeing 4 Ornithopter form Memnite. There is no way.
Yeah, some number of baubles, probably 4.
Yeah, I'm
because-
surprised to see Bobble, honestly. That is usually... I don't know, actually.
I feel like I've seen that in all of the Gleeful Demolition modern decks.
I am used to seeing... what is that card called? Voldaren Epic here.
Voldaren Epic.
blood
Oh,
tokens, yeah.
that might also make its way into this list.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm wondering if he's on Burning Trees.
Probably not. I'm seeing mono red, right? We saw Sokenzan and we saw a basic mountain.
Yeah, so Burning Tree is double hybrid.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So it's very possible that he's casting it.
Yeah.
So unless he's playing like Urza's Saga or some other like really weird stuff going on,
Right.
I would suspect that we're on it for those really explosive Burning Tree Bushwhacker turns.
Right.
But we'll see exactly how that's gonna play out today.
Sweet.
Looks like players are just finishing up sideboarding. I really don't know that Yawgmoth has a whole heck of a lot for this matchup. He might just be mulliganing towards, a Young Wolf,
Bowmaster's line.
Young Wolf Bowmaster's
Grist.
Wall of Roots.
Wall of Roots. Yeah, Wall of Roots is
I think Wall of
really
Roots is going to be
strong
pulling in a whole lot of weight in this matchup.
here. Yep. Yeah, obviously Grist is a bit slow turn 3 if you're casting it on turn 3 fairly, but if you can get that really early on the play, it can definitely just gum up the board faster than 8-Whack can really push out creatures if you can
absolutely.
do anything like the following turn to follow up with it, And remind me, is Sam still on the white splash in this
He
version?
is still on the white splash, so we might end up seeing the cat coming out,
Gotcha.
which would actually be phenomenal in this matchup.
Yeah.
Given that it is going to gain you that life.
Gain 1 life, block 1 creature. That is all you need.
Yeah, it's a heck of an important life swing here.
That's basically a 2-for-1 in this matchup.
I see that the Zulaport Cutthroat stayed in post board, which probably makes a lot of sense. And I actually, to note, Zulaport Cutthroat definitely has its upsides and downsides as compared to Blood Artist in this matchup, given that it is a 1/1, so it is going to be blocking, but it's not going to be triggering the draining gain off of your opponent's creatures.
Right.
So, there is some give and take there for sure.
Yeah.
I think I do see a Goblin Grenade in Gonzalez's hand there, so definitely something to keep an eye out for. Goblin Grenade being very important in this matchup, in that it deals enough damage to kill a Yawgmoth when it comes down.
Honestly, I don't really think that's really... I would be surprised to see that happening, honestly, in a matchup like this. Mostly because when Yawgmoth is on board, if you were dealing 5 to the opponent's face, they're not comboing. That Yawgmoth is not going to do anything.
Right.
Honestly, paying 1 life to remove 1 creature from the board is not a great rate if, 8-Whack is doing their thing as early as they were last game.
Yeah, that was definitely the ideal opening hand for 8-Whack.
Yep.
Going 3 creatures into Bushwhacker. There is the Voldaren Epicure.
Perfect.
Sam dropping down to 18 there, and we'll see a blood token popping out.
Oh, I forgot that this thing pings.
Yeah,
it's
it
so
sure does.
good.
It's such a good card.
Oh, man.
I've cast it a rather embarrassing number of times in Cube. That token there is going to be the blood token. It's an artifact, for all of the things that that care about artifacts in this deck.
True. You're true.
Thank you.
Looks like we have another Ennoble Hierarch start. We've got 2...
And it looks like we're going into Wall of Roots and 2 Zulaport Cutthroat.
Perfect.
Unless he's passing here with Bowmasters up.
No.
No, okay. So we are going to see Sam going to 17 here for another Wall of Roots.
Perfect.
That's going to be very difficult for Gonzalo to work through. Those
absolutely.
04s and 05s.
It sounds like the Goblin Grenades might actually have a target this game. But no, honestly, the best way, I think, to be playing matchups like this, if your creatures can't get through in the first couple turns, especially on the draw, is, just Boldface. Burn is a traditionally good matchup for good into Yawgmoth.
Yes.
And really it's because the creatures don't really matter. Yawgmoth can't do anything about, Lava Spike.
It's funny. In my experience playing as the resident creature combo player, I have found that when Burn takes the role of red-based control, that's when the creature decks struggle the most. Now, that's a little bit different when you're playing with these Undying creatures because they do come back.
Yeah.
But we do see the Gleeful. Actually, that Chromatic Star looking really good there, giving you he's not sagging the Chromatic Star.
Yeah. Maybe he might be filtering, and we've been missing a color 2 games.
I did.
Yeah. I don't know, dude.
Who knows? I think that was that's probably not the play that I would make
for sure.
unless we're expecting... Well, no, because drawing a card is always going to be better than draw discard,
Well,
right?
but it doesn't matter at this point, right? Because the blood token costs mana. The star does not cost mana. It is effectively free in the following turns, so there's not much of a difference here. In fact, I think it might be the right play, specifically because you're never spending 1 to loot with the blood token.
Well, I don't know that you're necessarily correct there. I think that
if you
not being able to use your mana particularly efficiently on your turn, then end of turn looting.
Yeah.
It's like a mediocre cube line, but it could pop up.
Yeah, I guess so.
In this situation, definitely Sam is feeling pretty comfortable here, though, sitting behind a couple of walls.
For sure.
All right, what are we seeing come down?
Another Wall of Roots.
Another Wall of Roots. Hey, those Wall of Roots that we said were going to be pretty important in this matchup, those are looking pretty important in this matchup.
3 Wall of Roots versus 3 Goblin tokens. That is a shocked in...
That is a shocked Temple Garden.
Wow. That is more damage than I would be willing to take in this matchup, but let's see what the follow-up is.
Well, if he's got... like a Samwise or something, maybe he needs the white for that this turn. I don't really know.
Yeah.
If that were the case, you would suspect that he'd be doing it earlier.
Taking
an extra damage off of that pain land for the Zulaport Cutthroat, Sam down to 14. But it does seem like he's going to be able to stabilize pretty well here behind a gigantic board.
Absolutely.
And Sam is, of course, explaining to his opponent that, he's going to be draining and gaining some life when his creatures die now.
Yep.
So at this point, on attacks, I wouldn't be surprised to see, some kind of, assuming... Well, I was going to say, assuming Gonzalo swings out, you might see Sam chumping with the Ignoble or something, but I really don't think that's the case. I think at this point you're just so stable at 14.
Yeah, I am not sure what this Ignoble Hierarch is doing here. Personally, it looks like
it's doing its best.
I mean, it's not. Its best is tapping for mana. But I don't know. Maybe it might attack with the Wall of Roots and get an extra damage.
A Castle Embereth?
Yes, it is.
Oh wow. Okay, that's a hell of a fallback plan for the 8-whack deck.
Absolutely. Honestly, like with a card like that and having just 1 or 2 creatures slip through, 2 Goblin Grenades is all it takes to clean through.
Yeah, no kidding.
If Sam does end up tapping the Ignoble Hierarch, like if he runs out of lands and he has to spend mana for something that doesn't necessarily impact the board directly, we could see this slip through still.
Okay,
looks like we see the Star Cycle.
Star being cycled. Sam, ever considerate towards the casters, is letting us know that there is 1 red mana floating.
That's true. Good to know which colors he's cycling for. Glad to know we are not cut off of 1 color.
Right. And Gonzalo deep in the tank here, trying to figure out what the optimal way is to gum up this board.
It looks like... Is that the other Bushwhacker? The Surge one?
Oh, nope. No, that's a Synthesizer. Okay, sure.
Right.
This is a lot more all in on the artifact side of the deck than I was expecting to be.
Mm.
Exiling the Memnite, being able to cast that.
Not bad.
Pay 1 mana for your Memnite, clear a card off the top of your deck.
Synthesizer is definitely a good one to see here. This is probably a... what is the name of that card? Galvanic Blast deck, if that's the case.
Oh, I bet you it is.
If that is the case, and we are seeing Goblin Grenade and... what is the name of that card?
Which one? I'm sorry? You said Goblin Grenade and...
Shrapnel Blast.
There's the other Bushwhacker.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
So we're going to be seeing, what is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 damage coming across this turn. Sam is going to be able to absorb the majority of it.
Yeah.
But, man, if he didn't have those walls, he would be in a dangerous spot.
Absolutely. And it looks like Sam is 100% correct, and I am in the wrong for him not tapping the Ignoble Hierarch.
Yeah. The Hierarch just being an extra chump blocker here is pretty important.
Yep.
I am a little bit surprised. Well, I was going to say I'm a little bit surprised that this Synthesizer was played first, given that I'm pretty sure there's a Goblin Grenade in Gonzalo's hand here.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like this Ignoble Hierarch is going to just be used for black mana for a Bowmasters or something. Oh, are we seeing Cord?
Uh-oh.
Cord for how much? I'm not sure.
1, 2, 3, activating the Wall of Roots.
Right. I'm not sure where we are in terms of
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So this would be X equals 3?
Looks like it.
So what are we seeing off of a Cord for 4?
This is... Yeah.
Okay. If it's Cord for 4, then this is either Shieldred or Yawgmoth.
Right.
Shieldred being a...
Nothing on this board, personally.
Well, but it's going to gain you... I mean, was that Sam's last card?
I believe so.
Okay. God, what do you do here? So then it's probably Yawgmoth, and he's probably going to be sacking his creatures to pay 1 life to kill the 2/1s.
Right, makes sense. So instead of a...
Ooh, it's a Plague Engineer!
That's incredible.
Oh my god, Plague Engineer on a Goblin is going to clean up this board instantly.
That definitely is one of the hard hitters that, I was not prepared for out of the board here.
No kidding.
Whew, that's
a hell of a way to clean up. I suspect that's going to be lights out for Gonzalo this game. That's bought Sam quite a lot of time.
Yep, and it looks like the Plague Engineer will be staying on the board.
Plague Engineer is going to elect not to block.
Yeah, notably, Sam just gained a decent amount of life off of all of those dead. No, he did not.
He didn't, because this is what we were talking about with the Zulaport Cutthroat versus Blood Artist.
Dude, I never remember the difference between these two. I know that one of them can kill you through the ring. I know that one of them...
So Zulaport Cutthroat gets past protection.
Right.
Is a 1/1.
Right.
But doesn't... The downside is it doesn't trigger off of your opponent's creatures. So it's better in every situation.
Also doesn't target.
Right. Gets past protection. Right.
Yeah. Well,
Blood Artist
also gets past Hexproof from Black, specifically for Veil of Summer.
Correct. All right, Sam drawing for turn. Are we tapping for a black here, paying a life?
Looks like that's 2,
Or
3, 4.
And there is the Shieldred coming down, so we are going to very immediately see Sam stabilizing behind a whole bunch of Wall of Roots and then gaining some life off of Shieldred. It's going to be very difficult for Gonzalo to be in this game.
I can think of exactly one way that this game could be swung in Gonzalo's favor. It is one of the Goblin Grenades that is currently in his hand.
But it's going to be a little bit tough to stick that Goblin Grenade, given that all Goblins are -1/-1.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'm sure he plays Goblin King or something like that.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Goblin King.
Man.
Modern staple Goblin King.
Absolutely.
I bet you we're going to see a Samurai coming out this turn.
Oh, man, that would be not a very fortunate play.
Yeah, I suspect we're going to see Gonzalo wrapping it up here, going to game 3. I just don't see a way for the Goblins aggro deck to get into the game now, given that Plague Engineer is stifling things a little bit.
Yeah, that is a classic MH1 card rearing its ugly head again.
God, you remember when that was like the most obnoxious thing people could be doing in the format?
No. Yeah, the format was a bit different at the time.
It was a bit different at the time.
Definitely not the most obnoxious. That was pretty obnoxious in Legacy when elves had no idea what to do.
Oh yeah, my goodness. All right, what are we seeing here? Seeing the Ramanap ruins getting tapped, and that is a Shrapnel Blast.
Perfect.
Shrapnel Blast. Are we going to Shieldred or are we going to Plague Engineer?
Absolutely upstairs. There is no way otherwise. Well, there's some goblins off the top. Unfortunately, that's not going to cut it.
It might end up targeting the. It might end up targeting the Memnite, perhaps.
It's going to make 3 1/1s and then die.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay.
Look, it gives you about as many odds to win this game as you would have had previously. So.
I see.
Pay 1 mana, sack a creature, do nothing, and pass. I don't know. I'm into it. This definitely is that garbage time, that you end up seeing in these matchups in Modern every once in a while, where the game is over, but players still need to draw cards and stuff. But I do suspect that they're talking through outs right now and trying to figure out whether or not there's any need to continue playing in this game too here.
Mm. All right, so we are seeing Shrapnel Blast and Goblin Grenade in this deck. It looks like we are kind of blending the Artifact aggro and the Goblin 8-whack version together, which is a very nice take on the deck.
Yeah, I like it quite a lot. It definitely opens up the possibilities on this deck. Okay, we do see players packing it up and going to game 3. It definitely does open up the possibilities on this deck a little bit, for the more explosive turn 2 and 3s.
Yep. Honestly, the best for the explosive turn 2 and 3s for 8-whack is really just in the creatures. And I feel like these burn spells are probably the best way to build the deck, specifically because taking the burn roll is one of the better things you can be doing for some of the matchups where traditionally burn is good, but creatures are not good. Yawgmoth is a great example, where just dealing 10 to the face is a lot better than a dozen creatures could do sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. It does become quite difficult to attack in with your 1/1s when there's a board full of 0/4s.
Yep.
I wonder what the matchup spread would be for 8-whack, in this format. Because
probably poor.
Probably poor. Yeah, it's difficult to be the favored player walking into a Modern tournament when you're playing a whole bunch of 1/1 goblins. But
yep.
I could see it being all right against rhinos.
Right. Yeah, it's probably not bad. No, never mind. That plays sorceries to do its fast combos. There's no way that deck.
Yeah, so
there's no way that
you would
sticks.
Sort of need to dodge the force negations and stuff. But
yeah.
Maybe we'll see Gonzalo popping up against rhinos, later tonight. Well, we'll see.
That would definitely be interesting.
So we do have 8-whack going on the play this round, this game.
Yep.
That is going to be a pretty big difference maker, I suspect.
100%. And if we see another fast creature opener on the play, we could probably see the end of this game as quickly as turn 3.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm wondering how many Nurturing Peatlands Sam has in his list. It looks like we've seen, I think, 4 now between these two games.
Yeah, what I've seen traditionally from these Yawgmoth decks is anywhere between, 1 and 3.
Yep.
I imagine with the white splash, we're probably on like the 1 to 2 end.
Right. With the Horizon Canopy, surely.
Well, I don't know if they're playing Horizon Canopy these
Probably
days,
not.
but that would be a neat way to get your white mana.
Yeah.
All right, players seem to be finishing up their shuffles going into game 3 here.
Something important to know specifically for the white splash, since we've got Samwise in the deck, a card that makes food. If we see a turn 2 Sam, we could see stabilization off of, one of the fairest ways food has ever been used.
Yeah, absolutely. Just cracking food to gain 3 life. That surely could be a game plan.
Yep.
As we go into this game here. Man, I'm still so blown away that someone is playing Plague Engineer in current year.
Yeah. Leave it to Sam to have the spicy tutor targets.
Wish that was me.
You would never.
It's
Filthy net decker.
yeah, that's that right. Absolutely.
All right, looks
All
like
right.
we're seeing a mulligan out of both players. As we've seen, 1 mulligan is not necessarily lights out for 8-whack, but this is not a great deck to mulligan with. You do need to have a glut of cards in order to really get your wheels going.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely, if both players are on mulligans, it seems like it would favor Yawgmoth, as Yawgmoth's average card quality is a little bit higher.
For sure. 1 Bowmasters is enough sometimes to stabilize against a, Gleeful Demolition start.
Yeah, absolutely. See if we can see some better 6-card hands here. What else? I'm struggling to think of anything specific that Sam would need to be doing here to make sure he stabilizes. It does seem like it's very much going to be on Gonzalo to make sure he's able to close out this game rather than, Sam to thread the needle.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing looks like Mana Dork. I'm seeing Grist. I think I'm seeing like 2 lands or something. Yawgmoth. This is probably an acceptable hand.
I see at least 2 lands out of Gonzalo and 2 artifacts as well. I'm not really sure what the rest of the spells are. I see a Voldaren Epic here as well. That's usually a pretty good start for this deck.
All right, we are just seeing the Pyrite Spellbomb coming out turn 1.
Interesting.
That's going to be really important for blowing up those Mana Dorks, though I do think that taking the time to do that might favor Sam.
Yeah, especially on this mulligan. This Pyrite Spellbomb leads me to believe that we are looking at an Urza Saga deck. We just haven't seen the Urza Saga.
I think that's totally reasonable. So we see the Delighted Halfling out of Sam. This, of course, is going to make it much easier to cast, Grist and such, coming into the next turn. And wondering how we're what exactly we're going to see in this turn 2 here from Gonzalo. I suppose I wouldn't necessarily be surprised to see something like, Gleeful 0-drop Gleeful Demolition, kill your Delighted Halfling, and see if you can just make these 3/1/1s, go the distance. But
I would be skeptical to see that this turn, specifically because we can do it last turn. And it looks like we've just got
Bushwhacker attack for 4?
Yeah, this is a sign of weakness from Gonzalo.
So we've got Sam down to 14 here. And then we do have the 0-drop. Cracking Bauble. No, not Cracking Bauble. Just playing the Bauble. Sam starting with the Wall of Roots. I think I see Yawgmoth and Court of Calling in Sam's hand.
Definitely Yawgmoth, definitely Court of Calling. And it looks like we've got another
And we're on a
creature to the board.
1-lander.
Ooh.
Wow.
Lacking black mana, notably.
Lacking black mana, sort of.
Oh.
Lacking second black mana.
Yawgmoth is not the important factor in this matchup, I don't think.
What was that?
Yawgmoth is not the important factor.
I would agree. And we see what was that, an Endurance off the top of Sam's deck?
I did not quite catch that.
I think we saw an Endurance. Endurance, being a giant body, is going to very, very likely matter in this matchup, just as a good blocker.
For sure. And again, without black mana, you can still be casting this threat.
Right.
Boy,
I'm really not seeing a way for Gonzalo to keep up the pressure this game.
We can definitely see sick rips off the top. Synthesizer is a good way to start.
Synthesizer is a sick rip. There's the Gleeful, I think.
I believe that is a Gleeful Demolition.
Now the question is, do you Gleeful the Synthesizer to cycle into another card.
Yes, you do not have a land drop yet. That we know of.
Okay, and we have Gonzalo going down to 19 here, blowing up his synthesizer. He's going to make himself his samurai as well. Oh, no, you only get the samurai for
when
the
you
activation?
sacrifice it.
Okay,
yep.
okay.
And it looks like it's
And
another
it looks like
synthesizer
it's
off the
another
top.
And I think this is only playable until end of turn.
Correct.
So
if
which,
Gonzalo has the land drop,
right.
that is great value. If not, well, we'll see.
If not, we will see.
I am seeing Voldaren Epicure in the hand still. A
And,
little
it
surprised.
looks like a bauble as well, or something. Not quite sure what that was.
Same here. I am surprised. I thought I saw that Voldaren Epicure in the opener. I think that is a much better play than Pirate Spellbomb turn 1.
You know, I think if you're willing to sack the Spellbomb on 2, I wouldn't be upset to deploy the Spellbomb on 1, but it definitely isn't the great pressure. You really do need to commit to either being the aggro deck or the control deck in this matchup, and kind of playing the sort of half and half role that you might be doing. That can be a little bit difficult.
Right.
And I think we saw. Did we see Gonzalo forgetting to draw off of his bubble?
Ooh.
I think that might be the case. Definitely a little bit more difficult to win in this matchup if you're missing triggers like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Virtual second mulligan is not great.
Right. Play your 0 mana card, look at your opponent's top card, and then, Anyway, Sam has some decisions to make here, given that he is not finding his second land. Yawgmoth is certainly going to do a pretty good job of stifling some of the attacks here, but...
I see a Grist in the grip. That could definitely help here. We can cast it off of what we have.
Absolutely. Sam is probably deciding between Grist and Endurance.
Yeah. Also see a Cord.
Cord could be good here. I see 1, 2, 3, Cord for 2. Cord for 2 finds,
Bowmasters.
Cord for 2 finding Bowmasters is very, very powerful here. I was thinking Cord for 2 finding Zulaport post blocks.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty good. I was about to say, casting for X equals 2 is a bit of a risk because you were no longer blocking with those creatures, but...
No, you just block post block, or you cast post blocks. And
well, if you're going for Bowmasters, it is not doing anything there.
Right. Okay, so we do see the Grist coming down. Grist is immediately going to uptick. Surely is going to uptick, because sacking one of my creatures to kill one of your creatures seems a lot worse than sacking none of my creatures to kill one of your creatures. See the Ignoble Hierarch being milled over, get his little bug token.
Just a little insect friend.
Just a little insect. Notably, he did not mill land, so we are getting closer and closer to land drop number 2 for Sam.
I've seen that art.
The one that we're highlighting, or the one in play?
The one that we're highlighting.
Oh, that's the one that I play with. That's my favorite one.
I see. I am a fan of those, honestly, but there's not enough of them, They're not consistent.
I understand what you mean. I prefer when most of my deck matches.
Yeah.
So, hopefully more cards like that get the sketch treatment in the future.
We're going to be seeing it a lot in the future, but,
And we have it seems to be a pretty heavy decision turn from Gonzalo. Do you think that in Gonzalo's shoes you're ever attacking the Grist here? It's going to make your life very difficult if you let it go unanswered.
Probably not. I would be taking as much damage as I can to the face and then hoping to burn my opponent out. I don't really think I don't really think attacking the material on board is ever a winning line in a matchup like this. More so for a deck like 8-Whack. And there's the Bushwhacker.
Speaking of 8-Whack, we did in fact find a whack.
Very nice.
That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We've got 12 power worth of attackers coming across this turn.
We've got 3 blockers, so that is up to 6 damage. 6 puts him to 8, and that's
that's only 2 Goblin Grenades away from lethal.
That is 1 Goblin Grenade and 1 Lightning Bolt.
Well, so Sam does have this Court of Calling, so we may see a run back of Game 2 where the board gets cleaned up a little bit by a Plague Engineer.
Yes.
So we'll see exactly how blocks get lined up, but I suspect that's what Sam is angling towards here. I think Gonzalo agrees with you, and just everything is going upstairs.
Makes sense.
And we'll see how what appears to be cord for 1 at this time.
Yes.
That doesn't seem like a very high impact play. I think I would elect to continue to hold it and try and, get the lights out play with the Plague Engineer in the future.
I think that's true.
Could you imagine how awful of a rip it would be to grab that Plague Engineer off the top? What do you think the odds are that Sam is going to cord an upkeep to stop himself from a dead draw?
0.
0?
I think that it is way more likely that you are just taking the natural draw than it is to draw a 1-outer out of your deck, or a 1, whatever the opposite of a 1-outer is.
Right, so you've got the 1 whiff and the rest of your deck is fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, this is a 13, not 12, because Reckless Bushwhacker, the 8th Bushwhacker, is,
Right.
We do see a cord for 1?
That is 1, 2, 3, and then 4 from the wall.
Okay.
So
All right,
it is-
Sam. This could be Ignoble Hierarch to get 2nd black mana.
Oh, that is a sign of weakness for sure.
Well, either a sign of weakness or a sign of extreme strength. This is, regardless, this is saying, I think I get to live this turn. Oh, cat.
Yeah, that makes sense. I totally forgot
Okay.
that we were on this.
So you got
Cauldron
that
Familiar.
drain and gain, Sam up to 15, Gonzalo down to 18. 18? 17? 17, I think. Because I'm pretty sure you take damage off of the Ramap.
Only when you tap it for red.
Right, which he's now done twice.
Gotcha.
I think he's done twice at least. Okay, so we have the Undying Trigger here, and that was block.
It was only 1 block.
It was only 1 block? Well, that doesn't make any sense to me.
I did not see
Sam
creatures lined
took
up against the creature.
The Grist was attacked.
Gotcha.
Everything attacked the Grist.
Right.
So it seems that Gonzalo disagrees with you and would prefer to make sure that the Grist stays off the board.
Right, that makes
now,
sense.
the way that Sam lined up these blocks, I do suspect that we have another Court of Calling here.
Right. Knowing that the
That's surely going to be enough.
1,
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we either have Cord for Yawgmoth or Cord for Plague Engineer. Regardless, I think that Sam has once again sealed up this game.
Right. Knowing that the Grist was being attacked, I 100% agree with Sam's line here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just blocking with the Young Wolf, taking the Memnite off the board, and making sure that when you do resolve this Plague Engineer, your opponent ends up with nothing on board.
Yep.
I hear that the game tends to be a lot easier when your opponent's creature deck has no creatures in play.
That's true.
This is, of course, the optimal art for Court of Calling.
Very nice. Not version, but
Not version, but that's okay.
it's still got the watermark.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see a Grist.
Off
Thank
the
you so
top.
much, Sam, making sure that the camera can see that Grist.
Right, and we just see a pass. It looks like it's going to be an endurance and 2
Yeah,
Court of
so it
Calling.
was in fact a second Court of Calling.
Yep. It looks like the Court of Calling was already in hand. It was another Court of Calling
Yep.
off the top, which is not going to be very helpful, I don't believe.
Well, you know what they say. It's not the second chord that kills you, it's the third.
Really?
No.
Okay. Usually the first one kills me.
Yeah, usually the first one kills me too. Okay, I think I saw another Pyrite Spellbomb in hand from Gonzalo.
Interesting.
I don't think that's going to quite be enough here. I suspect we're just going to see... I mean, how does a Flunge look? You, lose your entire board and get, 1 damage out of it? That sounds terrible.
Sounds like my kind of attack.
Okay, we see Gonzalo tapping 1 mana. This is going to be sacking to blow up the
Ooh.
Ignoble Hierarch, the Delighted Halfling.
Yeah, it looks like we were just going for the mana.
I think it's a little bit too late on that one. I think if you were looking to be on the mana denial plan, that really needed to happen on turn 2. It's difficult to know that Sam kept a 1-lander, but even still, it's typically best to keep your opponent off mana for as many turns as possible.
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunately, it's one of those cat and mouse games of you have to make this play before your opponent shows that this is going to affect them or not.
Well, I see the cat, but I don't know if I see the mouse out here.
Boo.
Okay, Sam tanking on whether or not to respond to the 2 damage on the Delighted Halfling. I suspect we're going to see Plague Engineer coming down this turn.
How much mana do we have here for Court of Calling? That is
We have
1,
Court
2,
for 4.
3. Gotcha. Court for 4.
Yes, we have tap for 2. That's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. X equals 4. So this could be a Yawgmoth.
I would be a little surprised to see Yawgmoth.
I don't know, because Yawgmoth means you can convert a couple of points of life into wiping your opponent's board
Right.
and drawing a whole bunch of cards. So you might be able to set up the lethal line with, like, Samwise or something.
Right, on the following turn.
Right.
Especially with the second chord in hand.
You know, with the Yawgmoth in hand, actually, it might be some... Okay, so we are just going for the Plague Engineer. Looks like Sam was just going up on the chain to make sure that he had all of his options available.
Yeah. Also, maybe psych his opponent out a little bit.
Right.
There could definitely be... Goblin Grenade, is that an instant? I can't remember.
Yes.
It is? Yeah. If your opponent knows you're going for the Plague Engineer here, casting as many Goblin Guides in hand as possible is obviously the correct line. If you are going for the Yawgmoth here, or feigning that you're going for the Yawgmoth here, it's gonna... might get you, and that might be what we saw here.
We do, in fact, see land number 2 finally coming home for Sam here.
Rips. Right
Sick
after the
rips.
right after the halfling goes.
Right, we go from 3 mana all the way up to 3 mana.
So something important to note is that with the double chord in hand, the last turn, going for Bowmasters kind of early wouldn't be that bad because it makes the following chord just as potent.
Yeah, as long as you're able to keep the requisite number of green sources and or green creatures in play, it does make that next chord look quite good.
Yeah.
So we have Court of Calling, Yawgmoth, Endurance? Is that
yep.
the hand? Okay, so Court of Calling, Yawgmoth, Endurance. So any green card means you could go +1 on your Court of Calling by pitch casting your
Endurance. Right.
I don't suspect we're going to end up seeing that this game. It looks that
We were attacking for 3.
we're attacking for 3, bringing Gonzalo down to 14. So I'm seeing 15-14 here.
Mm-hmm.
Gonzalo with the draw for turn and tanking. All right, what do we have here? We have the Voldaren Epicure. You know him, you love him. Sam down to 14. And we have our definitely a blood token, I promise.
Lovely token. We might see the token cycling this game.
We sure might. You know, for as far ahead as Sam is, he really doesn't have a whole lot of pressure on board. It's possible that Gonzalo has enough time to get back into this game.
Mm-hmm.
He would need a heck of a line, but, you know, it is possible.
I mean, Sam has shown that he is willing to spend some life to get things happening these last 2 games. And, at 14, taking 2 shocks, all it takes is 2 shrapnel blasts to really close this game.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking here. So, Yawgmoth plus Cat plus Sam plus Undying Creature. Is that lethal?
Most likely. Whatever that means.
I think so.
It looks like we're seeing the chord
so.
X equals...
X equals 1, 2, 3, 4, so X equals 1. This is almost certainly going to be a mana dork. I suspect we're going to see another Delighted Halfling coming out.
That would make sense.
So the reason I'm asking is because we have the Yawgmoth in hand. There is the Delighted Halfling. We have the Yawgmoth in hand. We have the Cat in play. So, and we have an Undying Creature in play. So if we see the Sam come down, then we have sack Cat, shrink the Young Wolf.
Right.
Bring back the Cat by sacking, sack the
Sack
Young
the
Wolf.
food.
Sack the Young Wolf. And you're getting food every time the Young Wolf goes back.
You're getting multiple. I'm sorry. What is the text on Samwise?
Samwise Gamgee? Is it Samwise? I think that's the one.
Yeah, I think it's Samwise Gamgee. Gamgee?
Yeah, because the Stout Heart is the other one.
Correct. That's the cool one.
Right. Okay, so we have Samwise Gamgee here. Says whenever a non-token creature enters, you get the food.
Oh, it enters. I thought it was whenever you made a token, you made an extra food.
No.
I'm
So
thinking of
it's
the
when
other
the
one.
Young Wolf comes back with the Undying counter, then that makes a food. And then when the Cat comes in, so you end up netting infinite food.
Right.
And draining for infinite damage.
Makes
so
sense.
it's possible that we'll see that coming up in the next turn or 2 here.
And it looks like we do see the Yawgmoth. And that is a swing for a whole
That is
bunch.
a swing for 2, 3, 4. I'm seeing coming across for 4. Voldaren Epicure is just a vampire, it looks like, not a human. Yawgmoth having protection from humans not being relevant this game.
Correct.
So I suspect we're going to see no blocks, as a Yawgmoth in play is going to make it very difficult to block profitably here.
Right. And I think this board state does warrant what you were saying before, having a Goblin Grenade or a Shrapnel Blast or something like that going at the Yogg.
Right, exactly. I suspect that if that ends up being an option that's available to Gonzalo, he will take it. But we are short at least part A of the A-B combo there.
Mm-hmm.
That being, there are no goblins in play.
Well, Shrapnel Blast, there is an artifact in play.
Shrapnel Blast does have an artifact to sacrifice, absolutely. Can Shrapnel Blast hit creatures, or does that only go upstairs?
It's any target.
It's any target?
Yeah. Same as Galvanic Blast.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Man, I haven't played with Shrapnel Blast in a deck that I've registered since 2015 Standard.
You didn't play Pioneer?
I didn't play Scissors in Pioneer, no.
So you didn't play Pioneer?
Well, no,
because that was
played,
the only deck in Pioneer.
I played Abzan with Awful Mana. It was terrible.
Yeah, I know it was terrible because it wasn't in Soul Artifact.
That's true.
That deck was so sick. I went undefeated 4 times in a row and then never played the deck again. It just stopped being good. They banned Copter.
Excellent. Okay, so we are seeing
the
creature into Bushwhacker here, coming across for 2/4/6. Sam very comfortably is going to be able to absorb this damage.
Yeah, every point of damage that is being put on the board because of the Bushwhacker is just going to be taken off because of the Yawgmoth.
Right.
So it looks like we'll be seeing a block on the Voldaren Epicure, and then before
probably
damage...
Sack Cat targeting...
Yep. So Sam will go to 13 for this.
Yep. So I've got 13 to 10, I think, by my count.
Yep.
So
going to be dealing damage to
sacked
that.
there, and so it looks like we're just going to be taking 2. Sam going down to 11 here.
Seems right to me.
And we are untapping and then drawing for turn. And I think I see another Court of Calling in Sam's hand. That's likely going to be for a Samwise Gamgee, which should end up being lethal. If I'm understanding this combo correctly. Well, we have plenty of green sources. That's 3 mana, 4, and then Yawgmoth is 5. So this should be casting Court of Calling X = 2, finding Samwise Gamgee.
Looks like we've got the Court of Calling.
So presumably we're going to see, yep, there is the Samwise coming into play. I suspect we're going to see sack the token targeting the Yawgmoth, sack the Yawgmoth targeting the Memnite, make a food, sack to bring the cat back, make a food, and then start to go off from there. We have a pitch cast on the Endurance, which is actually going to be as easy of a way to start off this chain. So that's going to make a food.
Sweet.
So Endurance is going to be targeting Gonzalo here, which is going to have him put the graveyard just to the bottom of his library. This isn't going to matter.
Goodbye cards.
Goodbye cards. So we see the food coming down, and Endurance being sacrificed. So now we're going to sacrifice the food to bring back Cauldron Familiar. Cauldron Familiar, when that enters, is going to drain and gain for 1 life, and that's going to make a food. We're going to sacrifice the Cauldron Familiar, targeting the Yawgmoth. And Sam right now is going to be demonstrating that this is in fact a loop, and Gonzalo is in fact dead. All right, and with that, we are wrapping up round number 1. Sam is taking it down with Yawgmoth.
Sweet.
A big congratulations to him for a game very well played.
Yeah, and the White Splash definitely pulled through here.
Oh, absolutely. It looked quite good there.
Yeah.
You know, Sam was showing me his deck earlier, and Sam with Samwise in the deck, definitely making it look quite good.